All right. So I wanted to just kind of talk about the Bonnie call because I felt like it was so good. And it kind of goes along with what we've been talking about the last couple of calls, which is, um, you know, putting focusing on our own business and on recruiting and putting focus on the coaches that are actively doing stuff and not trying to handhold or push them into wanting something more for us wanting it more than they want it. And I really liked her call because I feel like she basically told us she doesn't handhold any of her coaches. It's either you get it or you don't get it. And then I know a lot of coaches, especially the leaders, are talking about starting up their own training group and doing new videos and trying to put out new content. And I really like how she said, I stopped focusing on doing new content in my training and really just use the system as it was and it's duplicatable and focused on my recruiting and helping my coaches that were doers, helping them hit Success Club in that first month. Because sometimes we get, bogged into like trying to recreate everything ourselves. And even when I did training, Brooke was messing with hers a lot too at the time because that was over a year ago when I decided I wanted to do my own training. So I really built off of hers, but I used a lot of her videos. And at first I was like, I'm just going to recreate all the videos because, I want it to be coming from me and not everything coming from Brooke. And then I started like looking at her videos and I'm like, why? Like, why am I recreating this content? It's good. Like, I'm going to use it. And I've even got to the point where I use other coaches' stuff, like Coach Caleb does awesome short videos that are funny and interesting. Melanie Mitro, I've started listening to her stuff and started using it in our trainings. And I haven't recreated any of my own training videos since over a year ago. I mean, some of those videos are over a year old. And sometimes I'm like, should I sit down and try and recreate these videos or say something different? And it's like, no, I'm not going to do it because my time and energy shouldn't be spent there. So for any of the coaches that are thinking about, running or doing their own training, I thought that was kind of neat how she had said that was one thing that she let go of that wasn't really helping her business grow. She was trying to recreate and do everything herself, and she really didn't have to. And I learned that too because, like I said, I was trying to redo Brooke's videos, and I was trying to make it all, me putting the information out there. And I think it's good to hear from more than just one leader. So I ended up keeping a lot of that content and only doing a few of my own videos. Okay, so do you guys want to kind of talk about what maybe your biggest takeaway was from the call? Kristen, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I think one of the biggest things that I liked that she pointed out is like the 4 things that people should know as soon as they look through your page, which for that you're a health and fitness coach, how Beachbody has changed your life, that you run challenge groups on a regular basis, and that anybody else could do the same thing you're doing if they ask you for help or, if you reach out to them. So that was one of the things I looked through my page, and, it's not really clear that everybody can do it, like that. I'm kind of inviting everybody constantly to ask about it, but I'm not really saying like this could be you could be earning an extra $1,000 a month, you could be doing this or that or working less, and I need to do that more. But I think usually like once every couple of weeks I scroll through my page and kind of reevaluate myself. But I think, I don't know, I think it'd be nice to have somebody, maybe I'll have Alicia do that with me. It's like scroll through my page and tell me if she has any advice for me, what I should be posting more or less of.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like because everybody's getting paired up with Success Partners now. And Lauren, I know I got your message. I have a list of people and I've got all their responses of what their goals are. And I'm going to have somebody for you. But
Okay, great.
A great thing to go over with your Success Partner. And to kind of build off what you said is, like, she also said to change your language, how you're saying things. Like, that was one thing I learned as I would talk to people one-on-one, is instead of saying a challenge group, because people are like, what's a challenge group? Like, I will usually say an online accountability group. And I'll still say challenge group within it. I'll say it's an online accountability challenge group or something. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. And even when we talk about challenge packs, I'll say that it's a bundled, discounted pack. So, just kind of bringing it down. And you got to think, I know that there's a couple of hygienists on here, Kristen and Lauren, but I always think about, like, when I was in hygiene and we want to use these terms that we learned in school, and you really have to think, now, is this person really going to know what this is? They didn't go to school for it. So how can I explain what I'm trying to get across to them better? And I don't want to use this sense dumb it down, but it's like, just kind of take it down to their level, and talk more on a basic conversation. And so we got to think about that as coaches, and also with our post, we have to really think about that too. And then she says not to hide behind the brands. The brand is you. You are the brand. I don't know how many times I kind of say that to you guys too, but that's ultimately why I don't do a lot of Shakeology posts, because I don't want my brand, I don't want to be known as the Shake Girl or the weight loss girl. That's not what I want to be known as. I want to be known as somebody that's motivating, interesting, that can help you reach your goals, somebody to look up to. And if I'm constantly posting about my Shakeology or what workout I'm doing, I'm not posting much other content, then I become that shake girl, and that's not what I want. So I like that. And she also stated that she, I'm looking at my notes here too. She started to post more about things that attracted her to the business, like freedom. So I think we all have to sit and think, okay, what attracted us to coaching? What were those things? And kind of make a list. And I think that a lot of times we get caught up posting the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. But if you could create a list of all the reasons that you started coaching, like, there has to be more than one. There's probably even more than 5. And you post a little bit, like post one thing a day of what your why was, or why you started coaching. And it's kind of like, giving multiple reasons and changing up your story, instead of always having that same content of, I joined because I want accountability. I joined because I want accountability. Well, what else did you want from it? So for her biggest thing was freedom. And so if you want freedom, you can really post multiple things about how coaching has given you freedom. And you don't have to necessarily spell it out for people, but really just kind of plant those seeds. Let me see if I have anything to build off of yours, Kristen.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So yesterday I had a meeting with my manager at work, and I'm not sure when, probably within the next month or two, going to be cutting down to 3 days.
Sweet.
Yeah. So how can I make a post about that without sounding like, I always worry about posting about money, I guess, like what the best way to do it is without being like, I make more money than you and I can only work 3 days a week, like how.
I think you have to always come across humble. And so, I did multiple posts about this because I cut my hours, and I would cut my hours again, and then cut my hours again, and then I left my job. And I think that what I usually do is, I love my office, I love my profession, but I also really wanted to be home with my family, and I yearned for that, to have more time with them. And so you really want your post to come across as, having this opportunity from coaching to be able to be home a little bit more and focus on something that's really brought me a lot of joy, and that's helping people really change their lives. Talk about how it excites you, and not necessarily talk about the money part of it, but talk about, like, why are you cutting down 3 days a week? Well, because you're going to start doing this. You don't have to necessarily say, I'm making more money now, I can do this. But you can kind of hint towards it, and be very humble about it. And I don't know, posts like that always take me a long time to write. Like posts that I have to convey some kind of emotion in it. It takes me a long time to write. Like usually it's funny because I'll tell Chris, I'm like, man, I can spit a post out like that. I mean, in like seconds. But when it's a post that you have to write a story with, I spend 45 minutes at it. It's the most time consuming thing for me. So I would just say, sit down and try and think, how can I make this come across humble? And, how can I explain to people what this is going to do for my other business, and explain to people how excited I am because, you can even say I cut down 3 days a week because I was able to do that. Now I'm going to focus more on coaching, which has allowed me to cut those hours. But I'm also excited because I was working these long hours. My back was starting to hurt. I was getting really stressed. Like, tell people why. Like, why do you want to cut 3 hours? Not just to work on your business, but like, what was it doing to you physically? Like, I know that you were stressed out. You were working long hours. Like, you were seeing 16 patients a day, and you can say that, because that's crazy. 16 patients a day is crazy. And if you want to write something out and send it to me, I can help you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And same with Alicia. You could send it to Alicia too and say, hey, what do you think? Does this sound, humble, or do you think this sounds like I make more money?
Right.
And don't be scared to say that you're making money from this business, because if you hide that, then you're not going to attract certain people. Many things attracted me to Brooke, but I seen that she was getting on her laptop and paying off a $7,000 credit card. I seen that she was paying off debt, and she was going on vacations. Like, that attracted me too. And I didn't think, oh, look at her, like, talking about paying off this credit card debt. Like, I never thought, oh God, she's talking about how much money she makes. I was like, how the hell is she doing that? Like, that was my thoughts. How the hell are you paying off a $7,000 credit card bill? What are you doing?
I had a lot of people like and comment on my post about paying off the apartment. And I think, like, I told my story, like how I struggled with it. I lost my job and all this stuff right as we were building. And I had a lot of people like, congratulations, you've worked so hard for it, like hard work pays off. I'm so happy for you. And I don't think anybody took it in a bad way, but I also didn't mention the fact that I've been making a lot of more money through Beachbody, so like, it was kind of implied, but I never said it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of like planting a seed, but I think eventually you have to say it. Why keep it a secret? Because you want to attract people too that want more for themselves. So I don't think you should feel ashamed about it. But I think if you talked about your struggles, and I think it's important to always talk about your struggles. So with dental hygiene, talk about your struggles of working 4 days a week, seeing 16 patients, if you're having any kind of back pain, hand pain, how it was stressing you out, and how you're just thankful that you've started coaching to be able to bring yourself home a couple more days a week just to take that stress off of your body. And I don't think anybody, by you saying, I'm thankful for being able to coach and do something I enjoy, that I'm now going to be able to only work 3 days a week because my body couldn't take it anymore. I don't think that there's anything that says, about money. It does and it doesn't, but it implies that you're thankful because you were struggling with this. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I definitely like that. That's great advice.
Okay. Sweet. All right, Jennifer, you're up next. What was your big takeaway?
Hi.
Hello.
I have like a problem with, like, when I see everybody else's posts, like, I can't compete with them. So I think like looking at your own paper was the aha moment for me. So I actually, I kind of hid some people that were causing me to feel like that. So it just messes with your head. So that's like where I'm at.
Yeah. And I think she wasn't the only leader that said that, like they all did. Anita said it on her call. Amy said it on her call. Like, you have to, I think it's important to follow at the beginning, because Bonnie said she tells her coaches to follow at the beginning because you got to have some kind of direction. But, and that's what I did. I followed at the beginning. But now I don't know what the heck goes on any of the top 10 coaches' pages, like Amy Silverman. I don't ever look at her page. Bonnie Engel. I have no clue what's going on with their pages. And even Brooke, I try to, go in and make sure I see some of Brooke's stuff because I want to see baby Theo, but I don't Facebook scroll. So the only people's pages I look at are your all's pages. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I think that's important. Once you get an idea of what you should be posting, then unfollow all those people and figure out what direction do you want to go. What represents you.
And then what do you feel about like her with the ads?
The ads where she spends 10%, Chris and I are at the point where we've played with ads for a long time. For a year and a half, we've played with ads. And what it's done for our business is bring new people in. Now, has it brought us a lot of sales? No. It has not brought me a lot of sales, but it has brought me a lot of new people and a lot of new relationships that eventually led to coaching or sales. And I always use Kelly Branson because Kelly came from an ad. She liked a recipe post. It wasn't even a post about doing a challenge group or being a coach. It was just a recipe post. She liked my page. A friend requested her. She accepted my friend request. I built a relationship there. So if you're struggling with finding people, then using your like page and running ads and just getting people to like your page or like a post and friend request them. Because all I did from there is I would convert them. They would accept my friend request on my personal page. And I have, let me read my little thing I have. I just did an ad that I only targeted hygienists. It was kind of a coaching ad. And I had a lot of people like it, and I had a lot of people like my page from it. I had quite a few that wanted to check out the webinar. I haven't got anything from it yet, but that's okay because, again, she said it's all about getting people in front of your stuff, which is so true. It's all about getting people in front of your stuff. So when I do convert those people from my like page and friend request them on my personal, what I'll typically say is, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I appreciate your support on my like page, on my tone, and I hope that you enjoy the post. Coaching and that page is such a huge joy for me, and I love connecting with others with similar interests. I wanted to message you because I figure since you liked my page, we may have similar goals. Are you into health and fitness? If so, what do you like to do for fitness? And so it opens that door, like, first message, because they like my page for a reason. They obviously are into clean eating or wanting to get healthy, and we obviously do have similar interests, because why would they like my page? And so that opens the door for conversation. But like I did a live video on our team page the other day, since the 18th, I've done 45 new conversations. 0 people have bought anything. I've only invited 3 of them to a challenge group, and that's out of 45 people, because not always will a conversation lead to an invite, and I don't want to force it because I don't know these people. They don't know me. They don't trust me. I want to build a relationship with them, and that consistency of doing that every day, starting 5 new conversations, adding 5 new people to my page, over time is what's led to my momentum. And I started it early. I started it when I was still working with my warm market. So every single month, I rarely help under 10 people. It's always 10 or more people that I help. And that's the reason, is that I consistently do that at least 5 to 6 days a week. And that consistency in bringing new people and talking to as many people as I can is what's grown my business. And it's really just the basics. It really is. I don't do anything super special. But with the ads, it brings more people in front of your stuff. So I don't want you all to, because here's what usually happens, and I see it even with our coaches, is they will do an ad and they won't get any sales from it, or it won't go anywhere. And then they say, I wasted $20. I don't want to waste $20 again. And so they don't do it again. And I wasted a lot of money. I mean, I wasted $20 here, $20 there. I never spent more than 20. When I first started coaching, I didn't do ads until I'd been a coach for 6 months. And I never spent more than $20 a month. But it did slowly start to bring new people. And then I started to make more money. And then I was like, okay, I'll spend $50 this month. And then I would see that an ad wasn't doing very good. So I would turn the ad off, because you can turn ads off. So I would turn it off and I would try another ad. And then I would give it a couple days. Oh, it wasn't doing very good. I turn it off and I try something else. So if you have an ad that's not really doing all that well, you don't have to sit and run it for the full $20. You can turn it off. And I would like to do a call on ads eventually, for sure. Sometime soon, within like the next month. Would you guys like that? A call on ads? But the one thing I want to say, and Brooke and I talk about this all the time, is that ads are hit or miss. One might be awesome, amazing, and like, oh my gosh, you got so many people interested, and one might just bomb. You just have to play with it. But if you're at least getting somebody liking the post or liking your page, and then you're able to convert them to your personal page and really start a relationship, you never know what's going to happen. Just like Kelly. I mean, here she is. She just turned diamond the other day, and it was a slow build with us. It's not like I friended her and she instantly joined a challenge group. And it's not like I asked her to coach and she instantly started coaching. It was a slow grow. And but obviously it's worth it, and it builds that relationship, and you build a friendship with these people too. And so that's what makes it so valuable.
I have one question about that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love for you to do a call on ads. My problem is I haven't wanted to put money into one yet because I haven't really been posting much on my like page. And I feel like if I make an ad, then people are going to go to my like page and see that there's not much content there and be like, all right, I don't want to like this page. There's not much on it. So I feel like I need to build up my like page quite a bit before I want to spend money on an ad. Does that make sense?
It does, but they won't. The top coaches that run ads, their pages are, and some of the coaches that have like amazing ads that I'm like, oh my, like I'll get sponsored by it and I'll be like, oh, I want to check out their page. Page sucks. I'm like, their page sucks. Like my page is awesome and this page sucks, and they have like 100 people commenting on their ad. Yeah, it won't matter, because what most people do is they just go to that ad and then they decide to like from there. They won't, not many will go through and sit and scroll through it.
I do have a goal of posting like 10 times a week for the next couple of weeks. So maybe I'll just try to do that up until you do your ad call and then put some money into it.
You know that Bonnie says that she, between like page and personal page, she posts the exact same content in both pages.
Right.
So, and that's what I do with Instagram. Anything you guys see on Instagram, you are going to see it on Facebook. I do not do anything special with Instagram, but I have totally different followers on Instagram. So the content's all new to them. And there was another call I listened to where a coach is like, yeah, I'll post something. I think she goes between Facebook and Instagram, but she said she'll post something and then maybe that night or a couple hours later, she'll post the same content in her other page. So if you're and here's another thing, guys, recycle your post. If you've been a coach for a while, go back and see what you posted, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever, and see what you can recycle and put it on that page. Chris and I do that all the time. And actually, now that I've had my like page for 2 years, I'll go through my pictures and I'll see a recipe and I'm like, man, I haven't posted a recipe in a while. and then I'll see I posted this one like 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever, and I'll repost the exact same recipe. And if there's content where like I'm like, oh, this was pretty good content, that was a really good post, I'm going to repost that. So recycle your post. Go through your personal page and start looking through the pictures, and then take some of that content and post it on your like page. Recycle it. Like what you posted maybe 2 months ago. If you posted a recipe, find a recipe that you posted maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever. Copy it, save the picture, post it to your like page. Content done. No thinking, easy, right? Does that help?
It does. One thing about recipes, and I was telling Alicia this the other day, John and I are very boring when it comes to what we eat. Like literally we'll cook up like 3 pounds of chicken at the beginning of the week, and that'll be like ready for us to have dinner. We don't really make a lot of like recipes. And so I struggle posting recipes because I'm not trying them, and I hate to post something that I've never tried.
You might be surprised, but Chris and I are very, very, very boring. Like literally we're chicken, quinoa, asparagus. Like he's like, if we have this same chicken, vegetable, and healthy carb one more time, I'm going to like stab myself. But what we do try to do is at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, I will do a new recipe. And if you start doing that consistently, if you at least do two new recipes a month, you'll have a build. I mean, you'll have, at the end of the year, you'll have 24 recipes. And that in addition with all the other recipes you tried. So you don't have to cook exciting every single day, but, you know, go to Pinterest, see what you can find, take something from our challenge group, and take a picture of it and then post it. So sometimes I'll go on a recipe free-for-all and I'll do like 3 or 4 in 1 week. And I told him, I'm like, we just can't do that because we end up cooking, like spending more time in the kitchen, like several days in a row. And we end up spending more at the grocery because we're trying to make something specific that we had to add different stuff into. So I would suggest, even if right now you're trying to build up recipes, just do 1 a week. You know, something different, something you find from Pinterest, and take it and just make it on a Sunday, you know, and then it can be something that you post for that week. What I tell people too in my, who I'm trying to convert to my like page to start a conversation with them, is that I post weekly recipes. So I'll say I post a recipe once a week, and I'll try and get in there and post a recipe once a week. I'm not always consistent with it, but I'll go back through my old posts and I'll post something I've posted before. Or I'll go to a challenge group recipe and I'll post a challenge group recipe. Okay. Bree, are you still on the line? I don't know if that's Bree or Katie. She's at the doctor's office. And I know Lauren's still has to watch it. So let me go through this really quick. I'm going to just kind of read through my notes. We got like 10 minutes. Okay, so I really like that she says, get your coaches their first success. I think that's huge. I think I really concentrate on my coaches their first month that really actually want to coach, getting them to hit Success Club and getting them to understand the importance of it. And, you know, I posted in our leader thread about helping your coaches understand Emerald and Team Cycle Bonus. I think that is really crucial. But I think the most important thing that first month is just getting them their first success. Even if they only sell 1 challenge pack, like that's still huge. Obviously, we want to try and get them to 3 challenge packs so they hit Success Club. And so I like that. And she also talks, you know, this might sound kind of harsh, but she says rinse and repeat. Because, guys, I notice what happens with some of the coaches is like, they'll do great the first like month to the first 3 months, and then all of a sudden they fizzle out because they don't know how to build past their warm market. And so once they've absorbed their warm market, they're just kind of like, they don't want to put in the work to do anything else to build from there. And so I think that's why it's important to always be bringing on new coaches, because you are looking for that one person who knows how to keep going. But until then, you want to keep your business and your volume thriving. So you want to bring on those new people and you want to help them get their first success. And so it's not to leave the ones that fizzle out behind, but when you've done everything you've done to try and help them build past their warm market and they're not making any kind of changes or adjustments in their business, you have to keep focusing on your own business and keep building it and finding those new people. Okay. So I liked that point. And she says it's a mistake concentrating getting people to Diamond. You really want to concentrate to getting them on Success Club, because Success Club will lead to Diamond. You know, the more challengers you get, the more people you bring into your business, the more likely you're going to convert them into coaches, and coaches that actually believe in this business too, and they believe in the products and they're getting results. And then she talked about how her business grew when she stopped creating new training and stopped creating new content. She spent time doing the business building activities, which for me, guys, at my business building activities, I tell you every day, my 4 vital things: 5 new conversations, 5 new friends, 5 follow-ups, and posting. If I can do those things, I feel like I've accomplished something in my day and my business will still continue to move forward. So she focused on business building activities. You know, if you're spending a lot of time on Canva creating a really cute little post, don't, because nobody cares about the cute posts but us. And we're like, those are awesome. But other people just want to see you out there and see you doing your thing and motivating them and starting those new conversations. So you want to make sure that you're doing the business building activities. Let's see. And then she talks about people want to come to your page and they don't want to be sold. Okay. So making sure that you're sharing, you're not always in their face with, you know, wanting them to join your challenge group all the time or join my team all the time, but you want to hint towards it. And then again, I've already talked about where she said change your language. And you're never going to attract a coach better than you. And so she was talking about how she was trying to create all these little Bonnies. And really she realized that that wasn't going to happen. Like, you can't push people to be just like you if they're not willing to actually, you know, work and do the business. And so again, that's falling on coaches and hoping that they're going to want to do this because they're the ones that you're relying on. She's saying instead, find new people, you know, move on and find the new people. Don't get stuck with that one person. Let's see. Don't coddle your coaches. So true. All my coaches, all you guys that are in this thread, none of you guys need coddling. You guys got this. But yet then I have some coaches that will message me right and left. And I can simply say, did you go to the new coach help guide? Did you see that in training? Because they want to come to me for an answer. And I'm like, I'm not a thesaurus. I'm not Google. Like, it's all there. So I like how she says she has a chain of command. You know, Google it, YouTube it, look at the coach FAQs, ask the team page, then ask me. Because that cuts down a lot. Now for me, I actually don't mind at all for the leaders messaging me, because you guys I really focus a lot more on. But I get more of the questions that really can be found anywhere from the newer coaches. And so I have to train them that you don't come to me for every question. You know, you also want to try and figure the answers out yourself. Okay. Let's see. Focus on the ones that are hitting 1 to 4 Success Club points. You want to help them get to Success Club. So once you hit Success Club, you want to help your coaches that are trying to hit it themselves. So that's what I really focused on last month. I did a message thread for any coach that had anywhere from 1 to 4 Success Club points. And we did a little push with each other. And it ended up being like 3 or 4 coaches out of that, I think, group of 8 or 9 that ended up hitting Success Club. So that was really cool. And they would post into the group and they would all be like, I'm so excited. I just got my last people. I just hit Success Club. So that was something new that I did. I'm going to start doing towards the end of the month, really probably towards the beginning or middle of the month. If anybody has 1 to 4 Success Club points, I'm going to put them in a message thread to kind of help them and see if we can play off of each other's excitement. Okay. I took a big note on when she has a new prospect. She first asked, great, have you ever tried a Beachbody program? Like when you have somebody randomly ask you, that's what she'd say, great, have you ever tried a Beachbody program? And then they'll say, how do I get started? And she'll say, you choose a fitness program in Shakeology. You'll join my online accountability group and get familiar with the product while you're getting results. But at the same time, I'm going to teach you step by step in another private training group on how to be successful. So I like that because you're telling your coaches that maybe have no idea what the heck Beachbody is, like me. That was what I did. I actually joined a challenge group as soon as I became a coach. Started my own program in Shakeology and joined a training group. And so she just kind of simplifies it and tells them, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then if they say no, if they say no to Shakeology or they say no to fitness program or whatever, she says, how can you recommend if these programs if you don't use them yourself? So I've actually never taken on a coach that hasn't tried Shakeology, not tried, but been willing to try it or have used it before. It's just, I just don't get how you can really coach if you've never used the product yourself. It makes no sense. And I'm sure you guys get that too. And then I like how she says, I'm a health and fitness entrepreneur that can help you build your business from scratch. So she says, I guess when you go to her page, that's one of her quotes. And I like that. That was all my takeaways. Did you guys have any questions? Anything else you can think of?
What you just barely said, I liked that too. That the whole dumb down thing and like keep it simple so that people are like, okay, that's interesting. Maybe I want to learn more about this person. So I don't know. I guess I'm curious what you think is the best way to kind of make it obvious what you're doing on your like page. Like right in, like I was going to make a banner today or a cover photo for my like page. And like, what would you include? Because like you include wife, mom, dental hygienist. For me, I'm not a wife yet. I'm not a mom yet. So I don't have those things to put out there like, oh, I'm a mom who, wanted to spend more time with her kids.